Post-nihilism of purpose in the West. Biofoundationalism is a trap laid for us all. Section 1. The field observation. The illusion of time is a blessing and a curse. Just like a beautiful woman. You feel like you won the lottery when times are good and lost everything gambling when things are bad. How much longer would relationships last if the average man had his income and status artificially inflated instead of the few men that have nepotism or a cuckold fetish enough to be in the quote unquote middle class? Would our society be more stable or less? Would that be good or bad? I go to the mall and almost immediately get run over by two half-jiglets on electric motorcycles. They run the crosswalk and drive into the mall, almost running over a bunch of people. Apparently, they get asked to leave and immediately turn back. I stop them and say, "Cut that shit out. You're a weirdo, nigga." I lean closer and say, "What? You're a weird bitch. You're going to run over my kid." "I didn't." "Not yet." "I didn't." "You want to go to prison for some dumb shit? Use your brain." They just drove off. Eurasian families abound, and we all notice each other as the last of the dying normative normalcy, along with dual income, no kid couples of every race and mix. We enjoy the food court with pizza, and I try to lower my adrenaline dump. A lot of disgusting mixes of couples where the guy is deliberately trying to appear as a jigger to signal how hard he is as he wears clothes that his parents clearly bought for him that cost in the $400 range for the fit. The amount of comfort provided to the wives and children of corporate slaves and the exorbitant costs that they have to be paid to maintain a very mediocre lifestyle of numbness in the shadow of a small tech town that hosts Roblox employees as its big claim to fame. Everything is overpriced, and the once warm population has the stress face that only late stage capitalism can bring. Does that sound clever enough for one of these ironic ladies of the night with a master's degree? Shit, nigga. Look at this mall scene for what it really is, the baseline of modern domestication. Horizontal enforcement has completely collapsed. The delinquents do whatever they want, while the middle class, quote unquote, corporate slaves spend $400 on designer fits just to signal fake hardness and status compliance. This is where biofoundationalism hits the pavement. The modern tech capital matrix strips away real biological community and hands you a stressful, overpriced, simulated quote unquote normalcy designed to drain the average man of his morale and bank account until his morale and bank account are completely empty. Section 2, the tech matrix and the Roblox elite. More about Roblox soon. I may be committed, but since the divorce rates are high and I'm still able to get an erection and desire having children, I check out women in online and in person occasionally. I know it's a thought crime. There's one woman since I got on Twitter I thought was gorgeous. Most guys would not. She's tall, thin, Asian, has a big nose, and looks very nerdy. But she's clean, smart, funny, and probably the cutest woman I've seen in 5 years. She was/is trying to break into tech in her early 20s and is now the muse of my lamenting over seeing her post the guy that got her heart, or maybe in her pants, at the very least. Thank God it's a white guy, but I look at the picture and he's Nordic and very engineering looking. I look at his profile, which is private. I respect it. I look at his CV, which is posted as his website. It's very quote unquote safe. He's willing to talk to anyone, supposedly. I'll put my CV advertising I made below for comparison. So this kid went to Rice University, transhumanist school, studying a double bachelor's in computer science and medieval/Asian studies. Went to Asia, Hong Kong, for a semester and wrote studies on Asia and Russian conflicts or some gay shit. No disrespect to the guy, it is impressive. It's very similar to the totally real resume I made up to get hoes and fake jobs so I can save money to go live in Thailand with a harem of Asian women and have a bunch of kids. Like potential gangster Tony Huge on YouTube who was friends with the late great legend Connor Murphy. But what's this guy's future? If he gets the girl, gets married, and gets her pregnant like he should before she is 30, which is probably 8 years from now, they will be divorced 8 years after that with a 60% chance. And they will both be washed out corporate whores living in a $1.6 million, 2.5 bedroom shack in the peninsula of San Francisco or Bronx, New York City, if they're lucky. Oh, yeah. And he works for Roblox, which is run by some totally not a Fed guy who used to work for NASA. It is well known Roblox not only commodifies children for a fake economy on their platform, allegedly, but for sex cults, allegedly, as well. I mean, how can a married guy who's not rich enough to give her hush money and a house afford a lawyer to make her a baby mama, or evil enough of a VC tech bro to turn her into a heroin addicted call girl compete? Even Nick Shirley asks you, what do you think about communism coming to America? Maybe you shouldn't answer him. It'll be used against you in the court of public opinion or an actual court of law. See Program to Kill by Dave McGowan for more on that. Slavery versus exploitation. What's the difference? This Rice University kid is the quintessential neo-Trotskyist managerial vanguard archetype, a sanitized, safe-talking drone engineered by high-end institutions to serve platforms like Roblox. Biofoundationalism blows the lid off this entire setup. The system dangles a tech salary and a cute wife in front of him, but the Malthusian math of Bay Area real estate and a 60% hypergamous divorce rate guarantees he's just an engine generating resources for the platform economy before getting discarded. Section 3, the socio-sexual transaction and the good girl trap. For women, it is transactional, especially emotionally. They want to be manipulated, if necessary, for their emotional world. Monogamy is communism for women. They are right. Society is built on beta cucks, the good girl mating strategy. I have been a victim of this mentality for better and for worse. It's often the Stockholm Syndrome reaction to ex post facto justify our abuse as quote unquote noble lies to hold us together, which is sometimes in our best interest. For instance, having children with many women in modern times, women can and will create all kinds of drama and problems to shorten your lifespan one way or another. So being a mate and investing in them is a safer route if you're successful. Young girls are oversold as good and as claim staking or prospecting like gold panners, more like 49ers who got there a little bit too late. Utopianism and communism for men was a lie to unleash women as a scourge. That's why we need Black Lives Matter stickers over our houses and cars as a smear of lamb's blood. So the angel of death will pass over every time some criminal that women empathize with gets shot by police. And some people with money use those things for economic goals to rape the average man of his status and resources for their own benefit and sell it effectively as quote unquote pathological altruism. It is brilliant quote unquote marketing, is it not? They give no fucks, but we certainly should. People often forget that Uncle Adolf spent much of his, quote unquote his struggle lamenting that it was a horizontal prison matrix where your own class of people would enforce quote unquote norms of politeness or convenience on you for the ruling or propaganda class. It's no wonder he allegedly didn't have any kids. He realized the great danger of women and forgot to mitigate those issues. This is Gramscian cultural hegemony and evolutionary psychology working in tandem. When you realize monogamy acts as female communism and see BLM stickers as a lamb's blood ritual, you see how the game is rigged. The ruling class weaponizes female emotional architecture and pathological altruism to make men police themselves into horizontal submission. This is the Trojan horse. If you ignore these raw biological and sexual dynamics, you get bled dry and subjugated while convincing yourself it's not noble. It's noble. Section 4, the Epstein reality and technological solutions. Perhaps this is the underlying cause of using Islam to fuck over America and the West, pushing polygamy, which sells the idea of more sex, much as the sexual revolution did before it, as a quote unquote technological solution to the problems we currently face. Meanwhile, the ruling class, like Epstein, will have breeding rape farms on private islands, and many women will willingly or unwillingly, let's not get into the debate on consent just yet, join so they can proliferate their genetic dominance. This is the story of Epstein no one wants to talk about. And it's vastly more important than quote unquote sex trafficking. The why is more important than the who, what, when, where, and how. Here lies the ultimate Malthusian elite exemption. While the lower and middle classes are fed artificial moral constraints and fake quote unquote technological solutions like the sexual revolution or push polygamy, the elites operate on pure, unadulterated biofoundational drive, direct genetic dominance, and resource hoarding, the Epstein blueprint. All that social progress talk is just the PR campaign hiding raw biological expansion at the top. Section 5, subversion of the meta narratives and the quote unquote natural state trap. Rules meant for spiritual power like chastity, honor, and mindlessness, contemplation of God, have been turned into a vice that's inflicted by the occult slash pseudo priest class as an affliction spiked into the punch of moral authority that is mostly self-imposed by the lower and middle classes in a Malthusian plot against anyone with true individuality that assists in a community-based collective will. Run-on sentence. Yeah, I know. Irony and comedy are the primary binary weapons since at least Geoffrey Chaucer. They certainly have weaponized Pauline theology, as my friend M. King has argued in his book, Christ Protagonist or Logos the Throne. Meta-narratives, see Alex Wood's History of Philosophy, a Marxist Perspective for more on that, are all about subverting wisdom and goodness into the evil deeds meant to stave them off via philosophy, making women hold men in contempt for our very nature being chief among them, to stochastically terrorize you to become isolated, think it's your quote unquote best bet, and think that not taking the opportunity to impregnate women when it comes is because quote unquote you are better than that. Adam Weishaupt may get a bad rap since he actually confronted the Jesuits and perhaps the Jews, yet had standards so high that the Illuminati failed. See, it was planned long ago to subvert all institutions, especially religion and family, to conform to the wishes of a few. And yet, if you point it out, you're mentally ill, supposedly. Even if it's not some evil plot, look around, as the fruits have been born as if it were and as it were. Natural religion, aka the thought of returning to a natural state, is the ultimate guide to keep us as pets. Domesticated, trained slaves are not the same as an alleged anarcho-primitivist white male, Asian female cult of Polynesian islands in some distant past, present, or future. See William Gibson, Double Dickage, for more on that. Neanderthals gave us our difference enough to be one of the hive. Was that his white savior will? Or has it been thrown off course by changing the math of navigation by the stars, like Jason Reza Giorgiani suggests? The Greeks and Chinese simultaneously freed and enslaved man via contemplation and writing those contemplations down. And for what? To be ruled by spiteful nerds who run Silicon Valley and the government for Trotskyist Zionist. Where's my cut of the pie, nigga? Marduk brought order and out of chaos via the Jews to Christendom. But that order has brought humanity to its knees via the motto, give me convenience or give me death. Thanks, ladies and simps. Contradictions are bound up throughout nature. Therefore, Plantinga had it right about God and his justification. But now what? Beware of the natural religion trap. The push to return to a quote unquote pure natural state or blind biological determinism can easily become a high level cope that turns men into domesticated pets. From weaponized Pauline theology down to Silicon Valley's tech Gnosticism, these meta narratives isolate men and trick them into stepping aside out of misplaced moral pride. Plantinga was right that nature is bound up in contradiction. So if the spiteful nerds ran off with the order and weaponized the matrix, how does a man grounded in reality construct actual purpose without falling into their trap? Jack Ruin, Asian Aryan Magazine, August 3rd, 2026.